What is up, my friends? Jess here with Just Man Sports Cards. Today we're going to go over a 1992 Fleer Total D complete set with Michael Jordan that I purchased off eBay. We'll also go over the Jordan prices, walk you through the cards after I picked them up, and then I've already graded the ones that I thought I should grade, and I've gotten those back, so we'll also show the grades on those. So I paid $85 for the complete set. This was a whole entire set that I bought from the same seller. The Jordan, I'll get into the logic right after this, going through this of why I picked this up. But I don't have this insert of Jordan yet, so I'm thinking it's off left to right, but I think it should get an 8. I'm pretty confident in 8. And then the Hall of Famers, this is not centered, and it's got something wrong with the D there, so that's a no-go. Rodman is maybe an 8. It's off-centered. Pippen, maybe an 8. Stockton is too off-centered, left to right for sure. Ewing is looking pretty good, so that's a possible candidate. We'll have to get it out. Keem, bottom left. A little whiting on the top right, but that might be a go as well. Tumbo, some white stuff up here. I don't know about that. Mookie Blaylock, if people don't know, this is what Pearl Jam first called themselves after this basketball player. They're big sports fans. A great interview that Bill Simmons just did. Joe Dumars, and that one's a little too much. And then so it's kind of set. So we'll jump into the explanation, and then we'll jump back into the raw cards. So here we're going to go into the logic of me buying the set, just showing you that I purchased it, price after taxes and shipping. But this is the full order, so it had the Magic Johnson card in there, like I talked about. Same seller. So we'll just say that I paid $100 for this. If you take the 10 off that, I mean, it's probably a little less than that. Congratulations, you won. Here's what I won, the full set. So at 100, you look at, excuse me. There we go. I was like, this is the price on the 8. Actually, a very recent sale is the lowest sale in probably the last year. So typically goes between 100 and 160, we could say. Maybe on centering or just the sale. Not a super low pop card, but what I've noticed with Jordan's older inserts is they are starting to get pricey. The 9 on this, which a pop of 207 is $400. Pretty crazy. It's a good looking one. So basically, if I can get an 8, be by the time I pay, I'm into it for 120, which gets me right around average. So then it's like, well, why go through the effort and not just buy your own copy? You could have won this copy, Jesse. I realize that. So I did some research on the set. This is part of the learning cards. I just did 92 Total D, PSA 9. I'm using card ladder here. Date sold. So these are all recent sales, and I just go through here. Ronnie Cycli, PSA 9 did 115. So people are collecting this set, and that's kind of what I wanted to see. Joe Dumars, a 9, $40. What else do we have? Buck One, that's not a good one. David Robinson at 9. That was at auction. So buy it now. I'm guessing that could do 170, 180, maybe 200. Ewing, $80. Dennis Rodman, 130. Joe Dumars, 70. Dennis Rodman, 150 and a 9. Hakeem and a 9, 150. So that's kind of where I was at. I just did this research, and it was like, man, in that whole entire set, if I can just find a 9, of one of these. They all kind of, I mean, like looking at them, you can see they're kind of, some of them are centered, some of them are not. Like this one's off top to bottom here. The Jordan, you can tell, is a little off center. But then it seems like this one's a little off center. And then it's hard to tell on the corners. I mean, he did do these photographs, so you could really like blow in, but that's still, it's not like a super sharp, so it's gonna be hard to tell. So in this, if out of, what is that? There's 15 cards. If I can find maybe 2 or 3 that I think have a chance at a 9, maybe only 2 more, then that's where I can make a little bit more money and get that Jordan for cheaper if I sell those. So that's kind of my logic. It's kind of a grind. You have to kind of be into it for the enjoyment, but that's where I'm at, and we'll get into the rest of the video. So here's the 3 cards I chose to submit. The best looking ones. Some of the other just random players that aren't that great, like in 8s, I just didn't think they would resell, so I didn't really. So starting off, Scottie Pippen. I think this is like a pop 24 with 16 hires. Only 40 of them out there. Did okay on this. I think I have it listed on PSA or on eBay. If you're interested in it, reach out to me on Instagram. I can do better than eBay. So that's the next 2 are big wins. So very, very happy. The Jordan. Let's see. I kind of want to show you the backs as well. So the Pippen was centered. A little whitening bottom left there, a little white bottom right. Top corners look pretty good. And the back looked pretty good all around. So that was a clean card. Jordan, 9. I wasn't sure on this. Like the first thing I noticed is it's off left to right. But the bottom right is clean. The bottom left has a little white. And then the other 3 corners. So it's kind of interesting. This had kind of 2 whitish corners, but was better centered. Where this is just a little cleaner around the edges, but not quite as centered. So a 9, I forget off the top of my head what this goes for, but it goes over $200. So this pays for the experiment. And then the next card is a banger. Rodman. It kind of worked out that it was the 3 of them. This is a 10. It's a pop 3. The only other 10 like similar as a Pippen that's sold this year, I think it did 1,600. So I listed this on eBay for $4,000. Just because I didn't want someone to. It sucks listing a card and then someone smashes it like in less than 4 hours to bin. You're like, oh man, I could have got more. Not to be greedy or anything, but sometimes. So, anyways, after a week, I lowered it by $400 to 3,600. I think I got up to like 9 watchers, and then I sent out a pretty aggressive offer, and no one bid on that. So I have it down to 3,500. So I'll kind of slow roll it that way, just probably every 2 weeks. I might lower it a little bit, but then eventually I'll be pretty firm. I think this is worth more than the Pippen, so we'll be patient on this one. But that was the big one for this. Clean. I mean, yeah, I guess for this set, it's a 10. So very cool. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. And if you've been around for a while, I definitely appreciate you sticking around. Later. Peace.